everyone, and welcome back to Clarissa's World of Slimming. It is beautiful outside at the moment, and I was thinking of something really light and filling to have for lunch, and I've got a bit of a barbecue to go to later, and it's around someone else's house. I'm not sure what the food's going to be, so I don't want to be using up any sins or healthy extras. Maybe not. In the daytime, I want to keep it all very light, all very free food orientated, just so that I can be prepared this evening. And I found this really great recipe online on our group pages, and it is a I think I'm saying it right, lentil, tomato and courgette salad. Now, I was like a bit scared about lentils, and I sort of started looking in our books and realising that lentils are great for your protein. Some of you will be vegetarians, vegan, and lentil is where you're going to get your protein from. And protein is really, really important for keeping you healthy, keeping you strong, and keeping your muscles repairing as well. So it's really key that we get this, and we'd normally get it from meat products, but as I said, sometimes we don't fancy meat. I love a good steak, however, I also like vegetarian and vegan foods. And getting them nutrients from it is really, really important for me. So I went to Morrison's, or it could have been any other supermarket, and I couldn't find however you say it, lentils. So I looked it up on Google and asked for an alternative, and you could just get good old-fashioned green lentils, which I've got here. I'm going to show you, just little lentils. Don't get the split peas, it's got to be lentils. And those were from Morrison's, nice and cheap, 95p for a bag there, and you can get them in any other supermarket also. So then I'm thinking, lentils, have I got to soak them overnight and all that stuff? So I read the information on the back of the packet, and no, I don't. All it's asking me to do is to get, the recipe is to get 350 grams of lentils. I've got them in my little travel cup because I've got it sitting on my scales here. So I like to measure them out. So I've got that all measured out. And then it's 1 litre 1,500 ml of water. I think that's right. Anyway, water in the saucepan, nice and cold in the saucepan with your lentils in there. So I've got my saucepan ready here, and I'm going to pour my lentils in there. And it says, I've completely forgotten, so I'm going to have to read it off the packet. It says to bring to the boil over a high heat and leave it for 10 minutes on the boil, okay? And then that is going to give you your lentil mix. So it says reduce the heat and let it simmer for 15 until they're slightly firm but not soft, okay? So we're doing that 10 minutes on the high heat, bubbling away, boiling, and then we're going to go for 15 minutes on a simmer, and then I'm going to come back to you. Just before you put the lentils on, it is an idea to get your veg roasting. Now, use whatever veg you like to roast. I love roasting courgettes, really like the taste of them. Love, I'm just looking to see if I had one then. I love roasting eggplant as well. And then I'm putting all those in a pan. Now, it is a little bit of a mixture because it's what I've really got left in my fridge, so it's not sort of anything that I have to go out and buy fresh. It can be the sort of meal that you've got your lentils in the cupboard, you've got whatever veg you've got left in your fridge, and you can just really rustle this up from that. So I've put in 2 courgettes, and I'm just roughly chopping 2 onions, red onions, because red onions, it's a Mediterranean salad, so red onions are a really great thing to add into that. So let's chuck those in. Now, I did put in my roasting pan here, it's like a little glass dish. I've put some, oh gosh, my eyes are starting to water. I did put a squirt of twilight. My daughter's got some of them goggles that you put on, onion cutting goggles, which are really great. I've got myself some little plum tomatoes, so you can get baby plum tomatoes. It's so cute. I'm going to just chuck them in as well. I've preheated my oven. I found this pepper at the back of the fridge on its way out, but it will absolutely do for this. Gosh, them onions are really strong. I start crying. So I'm just going to roughly chop. I just dropped one. You know what I'm like. Roughly chop those, whack them on top. And then I've got some mushrooms. So the mushrooms tend to cook really quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this in the oven to start with. I'm going to give it, as you can see, it's quite full there. Give it a little squirt of firelight. I'm going to pop that in the oven now, keeping an eye on it. Now what you'll find is it will reduce really, really quickly. So if you just keep keeping an eye on it and giving it a stir, it's going to mix it all up. Or you could do it in like a larger pan, but what I find is in the smaller pan where it's quite compact, it tends to steam a little bit as well, and it gives it that really nice, the flavours tend to go through, and then later on when it's reduced you can then get that nice sort of almost roasted flavour in there also. And I'm going to add my mushrooms as well towards the end of cooking. So I'm going to pop those in the oven. Now they're going to take about an hour, and I've got my lentils on as well. Once I've done that, I'm going to come back to you and we'll crack on with assembling the salad. See you in a minute. Everything is cooked, the lentils are cooked, the roasted vegetables are cooked. Now I'm going to keep my roasted vegetables nice and, sorry, just let me move you a little bit, nice and hot, but you can have them cold. My lentils are cold, and I've got my rocket, and I've got a nice big rocket and a nice big serving dish there. So first of all, I want to get the dressing sorted. So I have squeezed 2 limes, and in that I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. That little shake. Now it says to use, it's suggested that you use chili, but I actually prefer using this lazy chili because it just means that otherwise things end up going off in my fridge. So I'm going to just put a little bit of that in, not too much because this can be a bit pungent compared to a normal chili. Although it is normal chili, but you know what I mean. I've actually got I'm going to get a whisk out because it looks a bit powdery with the paprika. And a whisk is going to help get all that going and mixed up. So that is our dressing for the salad. Now, it smells really nice. And you can really smell that smokiness of the paprika. If you don't like that, just use ordinary paprika, but it really does smell a nice smokiness. So yeah, that is that. And then, we've also got another dressing as well. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to do this on my own. So it is like a very nice vinaigrette sort of dressing consistency. So I'm going to pop that there, and then I'm going to make like the drizzle dip as well. So there's 2. There's like the actual dressing, but then there's something that you can then put over and serve it on the side. So all it really is some good old quark. I found these great big pots, which are great because I use a lot of it. And then this chipirati paste. And it's like it's the really nice sort of smoky chili paste that you get, and you can put it in your chilies, and it gives it that, yeah, it's the smokiness. So I'm going to put in a little bit of that and simply run it through. So that gives me a nice... So somebody was at the door and I had to pause the video, but that's okay. I'm going to show you how to assemble this now. So I've got my rocket here. I'm just going to pop that into my nice big dish, and I do suggest you have a lovely flat big dish just to Make sure that you get everything covered. And then I'm going to get my lentils and I'm going to tip those over the top like that. Not all of them because it's not going to fit well. You can make that judgment as you go along. So give that a little mix up there. There you go. Smells, if you could smell this, it is lovely. And then I'm just going to add the roasted vegetables. Remember, I haven't got mine hot, but you can do whatever you want. And I've added all different vegetables in there. I'm just going to move that over. So just add that on the top. And remember, this is a lovely Mediterranean style dish. So nice and rustic. I'm just going to give that a little mix up there. And then I am going to get my sauce there, my dressing. So just pour that over. There we go. And that, the smokiness of that paprika is lovely. So that is it. And do you know what the great bit is? You can serve it with your dip there. It's a speed-free food as well. So you can really enjoy that without worrying about adding your speed-free vegetables. So give it a try. You can find it on the website. It is, I'm going to try and say it again, poi, lentil, tomato and courgette salad. It took a little while of preparation, but once it's all ready, you can shove it all together. And I'm going to sit down and enjoy it. And do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to weigh out some feta cheese from a healthy extra A and crumble that over the top. Enjoy!